He was just a quiet mechanic in a noisy Nigerian town, until silence nearly destroyed him, when lies, envy, and power tried to ruin Ugochukwu's life. He chose peace over pride. But even peace has a breaking point. This is not just a story about a man with grease on his hands. It's about the strength it takes to not fight back, and what happens when the truth finally speaks louder than the noise. Before you scroll, ask yourself, when last did silence save you or cost you everything? In the humid bustle of Otuocha, where plantain traders chant in fierce tones and Okada men weave through tight alleys like fish in water, lived a young man named Ugochukwu. Ugo for short. He was 27, with the quiet strength of someone who had seen too much too early. His father, a retired schoolteacher, was paralyzed from stroke. His mother sold cooked yam by the roadside to make ends meet. Ugo bore the weight of both past and present without complaint. He worked as a mechanic in Quo Junction, a roadside garage with 4 worn tires for a gate and a makeshift roof that leaked each time the skies wept. Ugo was good. Too good, some would say. His hands were swift, his diagnosis of engine issues near prophetic. But it wasn't just his skill that stood out, it was his silence. He hardly spoke unless necessary. In a town where insults flew as freely as rappers in Harmattan wind, Ugo's calmness seemed almost offensive. Hui day form for, some would whisper. This one way think, say, silence be sign of maturity. Na so dem day, take suffer for nothing. But Ugo had learned. After a violent confrontation 3 years ago left him in jail for a week over a misunderstanding with a local tout, he had vowed never to let anger rule him again. His silence became his shield. Sometimes, while tightening bolts, he'd glance at the wrench in his hand and think, this thing fit fix engine, but if you hold him wrong, you fit break your hand. Words, he felt, were the same. Otuocha, however, had a way of testing even the strongest shields. One sticky Thursday, a flashy Toyota Venza pulled into the garage. The driver was Chiboe, short for Chibuzer, a local rich kid who ran errands for his politician uncle. He stepped out wearing white sneakers and gold chains that glittered like stolen sunlight. Guy, I beg make you check that Soundway day, come from under, he said with a fake American accent. Ugo knelt by the car, hands already dark with grease. After 15 minutes, he stood. Your axle joint day wear. You gon' need change 'em soon. For now, it never too bad. Chiboe sneered. So all that GRA, just to talk say, you know Sabi wet and do the motor? Ordinary mechanic. Day feel like genius. Ugo simply wiped his hands and turned away, refusing to react. Chiboe laughed louder. You day ignore me? Small me? Who you be? Still, Ugo said nothing. His assistant, Kalad, looked from one to the other, tension coiled in his shoulders like a waiting snake. Chiboe, irritated by the lack of drama, spat on the ground, climbed into his Venza, and sped off, tires screeching like an insult. Kalad sighed. Ugo, sometimes I no understand you. Why you no reply am? If not me, I go scatter that boy mouth. Ugo smiled slightly. That's why now you damn, go police station next time. Kalad chuckled, but shook his head. True, oh, but still he day pain me. Ugo said nothing, but inside, the fire of restraint burned. And he could tell from Chiboe's eyes as he left. This wouldn't be the last time. By the time the sun retired behind the cashew trees of Otuocha, whispers had already started. Ugo snubbed Chiboe. One man sat outside Mama Ejima's pepper soup joint. Not pride go kill am, added another, sipping palm wine. Mechanic way day, for monk. It didn't help that Chiboe, licking his wounds, began to sow his own narrative. He day follow my babe, he told anyone who'd listen. Ugo unused style collects Cynthia for me. That's why he day act like say pure. It was a lie. Ugo had only ever fixed Cynthia's old Camry once, and had barely exchanged 10 words with her. But lies like smoke find ways to fill a room. By Sunday, even Ugo's pastor pulled him aside. My son, he began, folding his arms like a father ready to discipline. A good name is better than riches. Are you chasing someone's girlfriend? Ugo's brows furrowed. Sir, I don't even talk to her. Be careful, the pastor warned. People are watching. and the devil loves to smear those who do not speak. Ugo nodded, but deep inside, something twisted. Even silence has a cost. A week later, Khalad ran into the garage, eyes wide with gossip. Ugo, Chibo day talk for Nkwo that you thief battery from one client motor. Him day, say na why no day, come here again. Ugo paused mid-repair. His wrench fell with a sharp clink. For the first time in months, rage cracked his mask. Which battery? Who tell him that nonsense? Khalad's face lit with fire. Let's go and confront him. Let him repeat him in front of us. Ugo hesitated. His fingers twitched. His heart thundered. And then he saw his father's face in his mind. The stroke-shrunk cheek, the labored breath, the quiet dignity he still carried despite being half the man he used to be. He exhaled. No. Khalad blinked. No. This one dawned past no. But Ugo was already turning back to the car. If I leave work to chase every lie, we go sleep hungry. Truth go walk on its own 2 feet one day. I no need to drag him. Behind the Okada shed across the street, someone had been watching. Madame Kalu, the woman who ran the part supply store, heard every word. She, too, had been slandered once years ago. She fought with fists and fire, and she lost everything. The next battle didn't come from the market, but from home. Their compound in Akakwa Close was a square of cement houses arranged around a sand courtyard. Ugo's mother, Mama Ugo, was known as a quiet, respectful woman. But that week, she found herself accused of stealing electricity from a neighbor's line. It was Obi, their neighbor with a venomous tongue, who made the accusation. I saw her, Obi yelled one afternoon. She sneak-go tap wire for back. The entire compound gathered. Ugo arrived to find his mother standing like a frightened goat, and Obi pointing like a preacher. You people think say, na only una day suffer? I go call Nipa people make dem come cut una wire. Ugo stood beside his mother, tall and firm. Madam Obi, no be my mama do am. You know get proof. Who day talk? You way day form Gandhi? Your silence day worry me. The crowd chuckled nervously. Then she spat, on the ground, toward him, and waited for the reaction. Ugo simply picked up the small stool his mother had been sitting on, dusted it, and helped her sit again. Ugo ta tire, he said calmly. We no get time to entertain spirits Wayne no get rest. That night, Madame Kalu sent a message through her son. Tell Ugo make he come see me tomorrow. I get work for him. When Ugo arrived at her store, she handed him a worn notebook and a key. I want you to help me manage this place when I travel for 3 months, she said. Ugo blinked. Madam? Me? She nodded. You know they talk too much. That kind person, not him I fit trust with money. When word got out that Madame Kalu had handed her shop to the silent mechanic, mouths fell open, especially Chibo's. He tried again to spread rumors, saying Ugo was sleeping with the woman for favor, but now people had seen enough to question him. The seed of doubt about Chibo's honesty had been planted. It was on a Tuesday, humid and quiet, that everything nearly fell apart. A man named Engineer Ofogbu, a respected contractor from Onitsha, brought in a faulty Hilux pickup. He had heard of Ugo through Madame Kalu's recommendation. I need it fixed by Friday, he said. I have a government inspection next week. Ugo promised to deliver. He didn't just repair the fault. He optimized the engine, replaced worn wires, flushed the radiator, and tuned the suspension to perfection. When Engineer Ofogbu returned, he was blown away. You're good, the man said. You'll hear from me again. But from across the road, Chibo had been watching. His jaw was tight. The next morning, someone saw him lingering near the Hilux after Ugo left for lunch. Just before noon the following day, a navy blue van screeched to a halt outside Ugo's garage. 4 officers stepped out, guns slung across their chests. Who is Ugochukwu? One of them barked. Ugo stepped forward, confused. Nami, you're under arrest for criminal damage and endangering life, the officer said. Engineer Ofogbu's Hilux nearly caused an accident this morning on the express. The world stopped. What? Khalad yelled. That car was perfect, but the officers weren't listening. They threw Ugo into the van. Onlookers gathered. Some shook their heads. Others whispered. Madame Kalu arrived just as the van pulled away, her voice ringing with protest. But it was too late. In the holding cell that night, Ugo sat quietly, legs drawn to his chest. "I did everything right," he whispered. A cellmate, an older man with scars across his face, looked at him. "You know, suppose they here. But listen, sometimes dem go push you so you react. The person way keeping peace, they live longer." The next morning, everything changed. Engineer Otuocha stormed in, furious, but not at Ugo. "My mechanic didn't tamper with anything," he shouted. "Someone loosened the brake fluid pipe after I left the garage." By afternoon, a tip came in, one of Chiboi's friends bragging in a bar about teaching that quiet boy a lesson. By evening, Ugo was released. 2 weeks later, a government official visited Otuocha to launch a mobile mechanical training hub for rural communities. Engineer Otuocha recommended Ugo as head technician. When Ugo hesitated, saying, "I no go school for all these things," Otuocha replied, "Your work, your character, and your restraint have spoken louder than certificates." Ugo accepted. Chiboi came one evening, hands in pockets. "I messed up. I was insecure. I just wanted people to rate me," he said. "I know they carry grudge," Ugo replied. "But don't mistake peace for forgetfulness." At the local church youth seminar, Ugo held up a worn wrench. "This tool fix engines. But if you hold them wrong, you fit break your hand. Same way words fit fix problems or break peace." He scanned the hall. Not everything deserves your reaction. Sometimes the strongest thing you fit do is nothing. The room erupted in applause. Moral of the story: not every insult, rumor, or betrayal requires your response. Choosing your battles is not weakness, it is wisdom. Restraint is a strength, and in the long run, silence often speaks louder than noise. That brings us to the end of the story. What lesson did you take from it? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll know whenever we release a new video. Also, feel free to share this with someone who might enjoy it. Thank you so much.